Hey there, ARK players, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today there is a lot to talk about. Today's video is going to be expectation versus reality of the new Genesis Ascended DLC. Now, don't get me wrong, there is positives in this video because I believe we're actually sitting on potential. But, of course, I haven't properly jumped in as much as I'd want to yet because servers are fully broken, some of them locked in at 1100 ping, and if you actually see in the official ARK Discord right now, pretty much everyone is just, when is the ping fix, when is it happening, and apparently right now Studio Wildcard are working with Nitrado on getting this issue fixed. But yeah, it's really not nice at the moment. It's been, how many days now? 3 days since the update went live, so yeah, not great news at the moment, but of course I will let you guys know as soon as we get this DLC fixed. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, we're going to be going through a lot today and jumping in game. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and if you want to come and join us over in the Loaded cluster, the link to our Discord is down below. While we work through all of these issues, the community are having fun with the new DLC. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to be diving in with the video. We're going to be starting with the expectation. So, the expectation of this DLC, I think, was extremely high, and when we first got the Tide Pup reveal, it really got a lot of us survivors excited because we saw all of these different islands. We saw down at the bottom of the ocean, we saw a skull, we saw some treasure chests, we saw everything. So, I think survivors were very, very excited about the potential of the underwater ocean. You know, it's just that, but you know, to go exploring, look for beautiful things that you know really feel like we have that like kind of like aquatic experience, something you know ARK players don't really do. We spend most of our time on land, so finally to have an ocean biome which is map size and with so much to explore was something we were so excited, and I think this is what gave it away to us a bit, that you know there's going to be there's even a spyglass down there, you know, lots of hidden stuff going on in the world there. We also, obviously, you know, looked at this and thought, wow, the waves and the tide, you know, everything just looked like it was shaping up to be an amazing, amazing DLC. And, of course, we see those lighthouses in the background, which I don't actually think are that bad. I like the idea behind it. I think in my head, personally, I thought that the DLC was going to have random roaming ships, maybe some ghost ships. There was going to be some storms, a bit more like Atlas. You know, I thought there was going to be a bit more like that, but it turned out to be a little bit underwhelming for me. Also, we see galleons in all of the artwork, we see the brigantines and the sloops. We were told when they sold the DLC that we'd be getting 3 different types of ships, and unfortunately, on launch day, which is for me a bit of a crazy thing, on launch day, it was, I think it was towards the bottom, they told us that, I think it was just up here, the galleon will not be available at launch and is currently planned for release in August. As our largest ship to date, we're taking a little extra time to refine it further and make sure it's ready for a smooth release across all platforms. Alongside the galleon, we'll be introducing new technical systems that will increase the number of player-built structures that can be placed on ships by up to ×4, depending on the ship class. This will allow for even larger and more elaborate ship builds once the galleon is ready to leave the port. Now, a lot of the stuff they said is coming and you know, got held back, is coming quite soon, right? August isn't far away, which is, you know, I'm excited to see the galleon, and I actually believe, which is what we'll talk about later, that the ship physics and the actual uses, I think they're great. I think it's really immersive, like, it really is, and I think they've done a fantastic job when it comes to the ship sailing in the game. Now, also, we found out that in 3 days' time, the Lumina, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Lumina's arrival, I think that's what it is, on the July 9th. Keep your spyglass trained on the skies. Next week's Dragon reveal will show you a very different side to Dragantopia. I'm over the moon. I love dragons. I love how to train your dragon. Everything like that. The problem is, I can't get excited about this because there's still lots of broken features and it's very, very frustrating. So, look at the beauty of the waves in Genesis Ascended's ocean biome. Like, if you actually look at this, you wouldn't think that you're playing ARK Survival Ascended, would you? we're on our ship, we're relaxing, we're laying back, and the beauty of the ocean and the feel when you're on your ship is brilliant. Like, you feel like you're playing a real pirate experience. This is the sloop, which is one of the ships available with ARK Genesis Ascended, and when you actually get onto your ship and the music starts, you can pick music from your ship's wheel, and then you can actually start to set sail and move your sails, and you will take shape. And the mechanics of sailing in Genesis Ascended is actually really good. It's kind of in real time. Like, you have to make sure that everything is kind of, like, it feels like a proper ship sailing adventure. And I think Wildcard have completely hit the nail on the head with this. The ocean physics as you're bouncing through the sea is literally like the word I used in my last video. It is glorious, I have to say. And I feel like we are sitting on some potential here of what they can do with the future of ARK in terms of, when we're having further maps and there's going to be different types of travel and systems, and this definitely feels like that. And I don't think anyone can deny that that does feel alive and that does feel exciting. And the shame for me, as I mentioned to you, is, I wanted to give players the best possible experience in the LoadedCrysis cluster, and I know so many of you other clusters out there want to do the same thing, but it totally ruined it. But now we're gonna get into a bit of reality, because the feeling I get as I'm sailing the seas and watching the waves go by is excitement. But unfortunately, that excitement dies as soon as you enter the ocean. Beautiful waves smashing against your ship. It's amazing. But unfortunately, as we dive into the ocean and you swim down to the bottom, it's absolute nothingness. Now, a lot of people have been saying, do not turn off the fog, because you are going to be terrified at what you see. And as soon as you come out of the ocean, instantly you feel like you're playing a totally different game again. But what I'm about to show you is why so many people are really disappointed at the reality of the underwater ocean. So, cloud and fog has been turned off, and it still looks glorious above water. And I really like that. And I mean, even the firing of the cannons, everything involved with it is great. You turn off cloud and fog, and what do you have? You have absolute nothingness. And it's such a shame, because the reality of what I was expecting was far more greater than this. And I'm hoping this is something that's work in progress. We have square blocks pasted to an empty bottom of an ocean, which, don't get me wrong, there actually is some areas where you can find in certain locations a little bit of stuff actually going on under the ocean. And from above, if we actually fly, I mean, everyone was actually mentioning about how low the ceiling is, but it looks great, doesn't it? It really does. It looks alive. And that, I think, is what is really very upsetting. I mean, look at this. Look at this beauty. And we're doing some testing over there, but back under again, and you're straight back to reality. So I think one of the things that Studio Wildcard really truly need to work on is, I mean, I don't know why they didn't expect that players would jump into this game and not feel gutted to go under the ocean and try and find and look for some exploration, and they're met with this. So much limitation. And there is underwater caves in certain areas, but it shouldn't mean that you have to go thousands and thousands and thousands of miles to be able to find something, because at this moment in time, like, I actually recorded earlier on and I managed to find one, but before that, I'm just flying around absolutely nothingness with creatures just being thrown into an empty space. it even makes you feel bad for the creatures that have been put on this map, because they've got nothing going on in their lives. They've just got complete nothingness down there. Do they even have food? They don't even have food underneath this. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Just look at it. Like, come on, Wildcard. Like, we put our trust in you for so many years, and this is probably one of the most, for me, one of the DLCs I was most anticipating. Like, the one that for me that felt the most exciting. I had the most potential. And I actually think the other biomes are fine. I mean, I think the bog biome, they really, really smashed that out of the park. And I think if it wasn't for the other biomes of Genesis, I think this would have been a total failure. And sadly, the reviews on this are going to be terrible. And it is going to mean that Studio Wildcard are going to face issues with refunds. And it's a shame. Because I would be, if this had some life underneath it, and a lot going on, this would probably be, and it didn't break the rest of the maps, because that's again what's happened. I mean, a lot of people said, could any issues get worse than Lost Colony? And I don't think anyone believed truly. I mean, look at these beautiful fortresses as well. Like, I don't think anyone realized that, could it get worse? And it could. It did. And we're on day 3, as I mentioned before now, of things not being fixed. I mean, come on, like, this for me is the worst. You leave your beautiful fortress, you're on your island, you're looking at the amazing ocean, and you're seeing that, and I know we've turned fog off, but it's like, what is that telling a player who comes in and on the game and sees just an empty floor? I don't think I've ever seen it that bad in my life in any of the oceans. I thought we were taking such a bigger step forward in ARK, and that's what I've talked about, and I've been super excited about, is how Studio Wildcard are trying things, trying so many different things, and they're actually trying to get more immersive, and they're trying to make the changes players have been asking for, and they kind of like. They kind of like tried, and they succeeded with the waves and the land and everything like that, but totally destroyed the game, and I should have expected it. I just thought that, it wouldn't get to a point where all servers would be 1000 ping for 3 days. I think they've kind of not known how to fix that issue, and I think that's why it's been so concerning for so many days. Also, the fortresses, I mean, I know you can ghost in them, but I mean, can you even get in them? So I don't know. I feel like I love this game more than anything, and I know so many people do. Some people take it too far, and the official ARK Discord has been crazy. I definitely think people have the right to be able to complain, because I spent $50, you guys spent $50. If you bought Tides of Fortune and Dragontopia. And it kind of just feels a bit underwhelming. And it's a real shame for me, because I spent a lot of time dedicating my time to, help, like, preparing so much for the cluster. We've had to delay so much because, unfortunately, right now, even Genesis started off as like 500 ping, and even Genesis across the ARK network is now hitting the thousands. So hopefully, I'll have update news to share with you guys very soon on ping fixes, because apparently they're working on it to address it in an update, and if they do manage to fix that today, I would be absolutely over the moon. But thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to reading the comments on this one, and let me know how you're finding the DLC. I'll catch you soon.